One of the best to do it. She works for Major League Baseball. You can also check her out on ESPN and probably at a ballpark near you on any given day. We've got Sarah Langs here with us to break down some of the most exciting Orioles games that we've seen as of late. We see the tweets from you all the time. We love the love coming back here for Birdland. But Sarah, this is a really different group that nobody expected preseason.
Thank you so much for having me. Oh my gosh, this team has been so much fun. I feel like I find myself on a nightly basis just tweeting the Orioles with nothing else because they're so much fun. And sometimes there isn't even a stat, but there are certainly some players here worth getting into.
Well, and you mentioned the players worth getting into. Fans weren't very patient waiting to see Adley Rutschman ultimately make his debut. He does this year. The Orioles haven't looked back since. They've got a positive win score going for them with Rutschman on the team. He's created massive defensive run save behind the plate. But, I mean, this kid is doing it all. And a reminder for everybody at home, he's just a kid and still putting up some of these amazing defensive numbers that we've been able to see from him so far. And it's somebody that the coaches have commented on. He's not going to chase after a pitch that is no doubt his. It's got to be the green light for him to swing, and when he swings, it's usually for big-time damage. He's amongst the leaderboards for doubles. He's the top for rookies with doubles because it seems he's going to go big or he's going to go home for the Orioles. And you look at the breakdown here. When you look at the weighted runs created plus here, Sarah, I mean, break this down for us a little bit, just how impactful this is.
Oh my gosh, so I love this graphic because these are the top players in all of baseball in weighted runs created plus since June 15th. So we know when he first came up, he struggled a bit, but since this point, he has been one of the 10 best players in baseball. Now, what is weighted runs created plus? Basically, it's a stat that looks at the concept of run creation, and what it does is it normalizes for ballparks where you're playing and the overall league average. So all you need to know here is that 100 is league average. So being at 170 means that he has been 70% better than league average in that span. That is a really impressive set of names to be out there with.
Is there any rookie that you have seen, and maybe even simplifying this down to rookie catchers, to do what he's been doing so far?
Well, when I think of rookie catchers to really make an impact, the obvious one that I think of in recent memory is Buster Posey. The way he was able to guide that team in 2010, getting called up in late May, and that team going on to win the World Series. And I do think that the way we see Adley Rutschman handling the pitching staff, the way that he really gets into it, the emotion he shows on the field, that's very similar to what Posey was able to do for that team. The other thing that has been so impactful is his defense, and you're seeing it here. He has become one of the top all-around catchers in all of Major League Baseball. And he's only been up for a couple of months, but as you see, it's not just what he's doing at the plate, but everything he is doing behind the plate as well. And he is tied for the second most defensive runs saved of any catcher in baseball this season. And I want everyone to look at that far right column. That's the number of innings these guys have played behind the plate. So Adley Rutschman is tied with all these others for second most, despite having played the fewest innings of anyone with at least 7 defensive runs saved at catcher this year. That is a cumulative stat. So the fact that he has gotten there in fewer innings means that next year, when we see him for a full year, he could very likely be atop that leaderboard.
I think you're making everybody back here in Baltimore very, very happy to see some of these numbers and projections. Now, another young guy, of course, he broke onto the scene a couple years ago, but Ryan Mountcastle, everybody knew he had the raw power. It was a natural instinct for him, but this kid crushes home runs. And in particular, he's not seeing red, he's seeing blue. He loves the Blue Jays. Some absolute career highs for him, double-digit home runs when facing them. Again, small sample size. We tried to ask him about it. He couldn't put a finger on it. But I mean, have you seen production like this for a guy? Because again, it's a small list for just one team for somebody to have the whole book on him.
It's really fun to see this. I mean, often guys end up with a divisional opponent who they hit really well. But it's really interesting because the Blue Jays have been good over the course of Mountcastle's career. So it's not like he's beating up on an unworthy opponent. And if you take a look at what he's done against them this year, look at that OPS. I know it's only 5 games, but 1 and 643. I mean, that is an insane number. And he's actually played 30 career games against them overall, which is a nice round number. And only 3 players have had a higher career OPS against the Blue Jays in their first 30 games. Russell Branyan, DJ LeMahieu, and Giancarlo Stanton. Next on that list is Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good company, and he's got 15 games against the Jays to finish this out, so plenty of time to boost those numbers even higher. Sarah, thanks so much. We can't wait to have you watch them take another W tonight.